Our management has been strongly encouraged to strike an explosive deal to bring in a superstar wide receiver and form one of the most feared and dominant duos in the NFL. However, there is a real risk that our top executive team may overlook this golden opportunity. What is this heavyweight name and what is this tactical move? Hold your anticipation, as I will reveal these details shortly in the video. The franchise officially announced 4 vital absences on the physically unable to perform list, which raises an urgent red flag for the structure of our defense. At the same time, 3 quiet position battles on the front line, in the middle of the defense, and on special teams are happening away from the spotlight, but they have the power to define the stability of our game. To close this scenario of crucial decisions, a respected figure in American football publicly stated that our young starting quarterback is the most decisive athlete in the entire division, and that our future directly depends on his integrity on the field. If this leadership fails to elevate the level of his teammates, and if the protection for our quarterback falters, it could destabilize the entire tactical system and throw our rebuilding process out the window. And I challenge you, do you have the calm to look beyond the excitement and face the real risks that threaten our 2026 season? Leave your like on the video, it's just a click, and it helps me a lot. After so much speculation linking wide receiver Stefon Diggs considerably, currently without a contract, to the Washington Commanders this offseason, as a fan who follows every move, I know this is a crucial opportunity. It wouldn't be dismissed if General Manager Adam Peters finally gave the green light for this possibility. Even so, clearly, that's exactly how Alex Kay from Bleacher Report described the Commanders in relation to Diggs' next destination. And the analyst believes this could be the signing that transforms Washington's offense from intriguing to a complete nightmare. And he may be quite right. The Commanders have been working to surround their quarterback with established talent while preparing to seek another long playoff journey. But so far, they have not managed to add a reliable receiver to the roster. Signing Diggs would clearly make Washington a nightmare for opposing secondaries, in addition to providing the much-needed veteran presence in a relatively young receiving group. Stefon Diggs remains a hot name, but the Commanders have not changed their mind. Diggs made his intentions clear early in the preseason considerably. He was interested in coming home, and the former Maryland player wanted the chance to talk to the Commanders about this possibility. That did not happen, as Washington opted to keep their options available at the moment, instead of clearly seeking reinforcements. How long this will continue is debatable, but even based on last season's performance, Diggs would be an immediate upgrade to the WR2 position alongside Terry McLaurin. There is a risk of Diggs becoming a distraction if he is not receiving enough targets considerably. He also has another off-field issue to resolve. But if the Commanders were basing this purely on skill, this would still be one of the most viable options on the market. Diggs should have enough experience to know he would not be the primary player in Washington clearly. That title belongs to McLaurin until further notice. But having such an exceptional player stealing the spotlight could open up room for him to act as a complementary piece, considering that he is a native of Maryland significantly. It is not hard to understand why this would be appealing. ESPN journalist Jeremy Fowler recently reported that the Commanders are seeking more speed rather than a veteran at the end of his career. This narrows down the options and clearly rules out Diggs. But no one knows exactly what Peters is looking for, if he is looking for anything. The answer will become clearer soon. It has been a significantly exhausting preseason, in which all the prominent free agents have been offered to the Commanders. Brandon Ayuk is another option, but that does not seem very likely at the moment. Diggs is clearly a safer bet, and fans are starting to accept this possibility. Whether Peters agrees or not is another story. On Saturday, significantly, the Commanders announced 4 roster changes, placing cornerback Trey Amos and 2 defensive line players on the physically unable to perform list. The veterans on the defensive line were clearly Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise. Washington also placed cornerback Fred Davis on the injured reserve list. Armstrong, 29, was selected in the 4th round of the 2018 NFL Draft. Coming from the University of Kansas, significantly, he completed his 4-year rookie contract worth $12 million and was evaluating the market as an unrestricted free agent when he agreed to a contract extension with the Cowboys in 2022. From there, clearly, he signed a 3-year contract worth up to $45 million with the Commanders in 2024 and 2025 significantly. Armstrong appeared in 7 games for the Commanders and recorded a total of 24 tackles and 5.5 sacks. The answers will be clear soon. While Commanders fans across the Washington metropolitan area eagerly await the start of training camp. After reaching the NFC final in 2024, Washington had a disastrous campaign of 5 wins and 12 losses, causing longtime fans of the team to remember the consistency that the team boasted year after year during the Joe Gibbs era significantly. With so much attention focused on competition for wide receiver and running back positions, 3 groups of players have gone unnoticed with less than a week until training camp begins. The 3 phases of the game present problems that need to be clearly addressed. The left guard, linebacker, and kicker positions are areas that received special attention during the preseason. but still seek definitive solutions before Washington's trip to Philadelphia in Week 1. Is there such a thing as an excess of linebackers significantly? First-year defensive coordinator Durante Jones has several options on the defensive line. Selecting Sonny Styles in the draft and signing Leo Chenal, Kelvon Chaisson, and Odafe Oweh were great moves, although the Commanders already had useful pieces in the roster clearly, like Frankie Louvu and Jordan Magee. However, Jones follows a line of thought that prioritizes the secondary and disguised coverages rather than linebackers constantly pressuring the opposing quarterback. Regardless of whether Jones prefers a 3-4 or 4-3 formation significantly, someone will probably have to sit on the bench. Some games are truly won in the trenches. Part of what forced Jayden Daniels to run so much during his first 2 seasons was the offensive line and the constant positional changes on the left side clearly. Brandon Coleman started last season as the starter in that position, after having started 12 regular season games the previous year as a left tackle, but it went to the bench after 2 considerable games, in part because it was not injury resistant. Chris Paul started the final 15 games and had a solid performance. He was helped by a clearly stronger preseason, which resulted in a better physique. For Daniels to play more under center and develop as a true passer, he will need his blindside blockers to give him the necessary time for routes to develop and to execute all his progressions. How competitive will a kicking battle be considerably? After Matt Gay started 10 games, Matthew Wright took the position for 1 game, and Jake Moody completed the year clearly, although the trio missed only 2 attempts from 20 to 49 yards. 5 attempts of 50 yards or more were missed. With 3 games lost by less than 3 points considerably, missed field goals will always be a problem for the team. Washington signed undrafted free agent Drew Stevens, who had an 80% success rate on his attempts in Iowa clearly, but like last year's kickers, he struggled at distances greater than 50 yards, where he converted only 63% of his attempts considerably. The difference in Washington is striking depending on whether Jayden Daniels is at the helm clearly, with veterans reporting to training camp next week. All indications are that Daniels will act as he did during his rookie season, but now with the knowledge and experience of a third-year player considerably. Daniels' durability could be decisive for the division outcome. Monty Teo named Daniels as the most important person in the division due to uncertainty and so many other positions on the roster. When you look at the Commanders clearly, I don't know what to expect from them. You look at the group of running backs, Bill Krosky-Merritt, Young, and Rashad White, who was the second running back in Tampa for a long time considerably. You have a very weak quarterback group and a very young defense. But then, you also have an offensive coordinator with the same coaching experience in the NFL that Jayden Daniels has as a player. Jayden Daniels' health decides the destiny of the Commanders in the NFC East, clearly. During the 2025 season, 36 different players from the Commanders missed at least 1 game or went to the injured reserve list. Injuries are a natural part of the game considerably, but when a team has so many players missing and is constantly adapting them into different roles, it's impossible to develop a cohesive roster week after week clearly. With 10 games lost and 3 played injured, Daniels struggled to find rhythm and remind everyone why he was named Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2024. Daniels' health will be a crucial factor in the division title race considerably, since a healthy player is very different from an injured player. If Daniels cannot overcome injuries, his potential may never be reached clearly. However, he showed what that potential was when he averaged over 30 fantasy points in his last 6 games as a rookie. The Cowboys and Eagles remained practically intact for the new season considerably, while John Harbaugh made it clear he is coaching the New York Giants, with 5 of the 6 division games already played by Week 10, and 2 more within the NFC clearly. Washington cannot afford to make mistakes if it wants to remain competitive in the standings. After a 1-3 record against the Cowboys and Eagles in 2025, Daniels has very little margin for error in any of those confrontations, considerably. Veterans are clearly showing up in Ashburn, Virginia for training camp in less than a week. Meanwhile, Terry McLaurin is preparing for his 8th season in the NFL. Throughout much of his tenure in Washington, McLaurin has been the number 1 target for a long list of quarterbacks. After a disappointing experience with Deebo Samuel in 2025, Washington is back to square one in search of the perfect complement for McLaurin. Having been part of some of the worst and best years in Washington's recent history, McLaurin has taken on a key leadership role among the players. It's not exactly my job to add or remove players from the team. My role is to welcome whoever comes in. I have full confidence that the guys in our group will get the job done, McLaurin told Scott Abraham. The good thing about the NFL is that when the opportunity arises, guys always get the job done. Rookie Antonio Williams has emerged as a strong candidate to secure the 2nd spot on the receiver roster, while Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane are looking to expand their impact on offense, as they have in previous years. Creating a sense of stability in plays will be crucial to allow each of Washington's young receivers to develop and reach their full potential at the position. During the 2025 season, 10 different receivers caught passes from 3 different quarterbacks. Injuries impacted the team, but this constant change throughout the season did not allow anyone to find their rhythm. Adam Peters spent most of the preseason focusing on 2 main groups of players: pass rushers and receivers. By bringing Dyami Brown back for a second stint in Washington and signing Van Jefferson as an additional veteran leader, he hopes many of the young talents he incorporated into the roster will stand out and find their place. He hopes Treylon Burks lives up to the high expectations as a former first-round pick. Coach Dan Quinn expressed optimism about Jalen Lane's future as a second-year player. Maybe even Luke McCaffrey can become more than just a threat in kick return duties. Acknowledging his role as a leader, McLaurin is ready to elevate the group, lead by example, be present at practices, and set a fast pace throughout the training period and throughout the 2026 season.